So this is a big question, and there probably isn't a single answer to it, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. What's your favorite book of all time?
I don't have one. I have about 40 favorites. I love The Lord of the Rings. I love Tigana and A Song for a Bond by Guy Kay. I love The Face and the Frost by John Bellairs. I love a lot of Lord Dunsany's writing. There are tons and tons of favorites. Um, I can't pick just one. That's like saying, who's your favorite friend? I don't know. Ask me 5 minutes from now, you might get a different answer than I give you right now.
So having written hundreds of books and showing no sign of slowing down, how is it that you actually manage that? How many hours do you find yourself writing every day? And what's the most challenging part of all of that?
Oh boy. Well, it's like this. Usually around 12 to 16 hours. Um, because I have a full time day job. I'm busy with life. And yet the ideas just keep coming, and the projects I'm working on with lots of other people, so they're depending on me to get them done. So I just sit down, turn on the computer again, and write some more. It varies. Sometimes, some days it'd be as little as 12 hours. Some days it'd be as much as 16. Yes, I said 12 to 16 hours. You don't have to put in that much time. Any day that you write something is a good day. It's not an arms race. Everybody writes at different um, paces. Tolkien wrote, J.R.R. Tolkien, author of The Lord of the Rings, he was a lecturer at Oxford in linguistics. He wrote every day, but he didn't necessarily write about his pet projects. The Lord of the Rings was a pet project. It wasn't his work. What topics do I find most challenging to write? Something I don't know about. You know the old truism, write what you know? This this truism is of limited use to people like me who write genre fiction, because we don't live in a world where whiz bang spells actually work and magic swords are being toted around by people. And if you're writing science fiction, we don't actually live in a federation of planets with faster than light space travel and space pirates and all that stuff. And if we write murder mysteries, we hopefully don't live in a world where every time people get together in a house for a weekend, somebody starts bumping people off in a mysterious and strange fashion for leaving weird clues around for people. Hopefully that doesn't happen in your real life. So I find it most difficult if I have to write something that hinges on details of math or physics. Because the one thing I was really bad at in school was math. My father was a physicist, so he used to just seethe in frustration that I couldn't brilliantly come up with the answer to a huge long quadratic equation off the top of my head. And I would just stare at the symbols and go, I don't know. I really don't know. Makes no sense to me. So if I have to write something that hinges on a detail of that, and I have to do the research and get it right, that's the hardest right to for me to write. It's sometimes fun, because the best way to take care of it is to sit down and discuss it with a friend who does know what they're talking about. So the actual sitting down and, pre-COVID, making a date to go to a restaurant, buying a meal for them so you can pump them about ideas, that's fun. But it is more work. So those are the things I least like, because it slows me down. I'm trying to pump out a novel in a week, and if I have to stop and research things, it's going to take a lot longer. So those are the things I don't like as much. Running a sci-fi, yeah, basically I do write in sleep, except that okay, I live in the real world. I actually pay all the bills. I do all the shopping. I do my own taxes, blah, blah, blah. Which novel of mine was the most enjoyable to write? My usual flippant answer to that is the one I'm working on right now. Okay? Because some of them were enjoyable for different reasons. Some of them were collaborations, and I got to work with a friend, and it was fun for that reason. Some novels, this is rare, just they almost write themselves. You sit down and the stuff just pours out and it's easy, and you get up from the keyboard 3 days later and you've got a finished novel. That's a delight, but it's a rare delight.
So, speaking about not actually being able to experience everything authentically and still having to create things based on that, as I mentioned, you are somewhat known for tabletop role playing games. If someone were going to run a science fiction campaign, what do you think they could do to make it an authentic experience?
Here's the thing: you try and figure out who you're doing the campaign for, what style of play they like. Do they like to blow things up? Do they like to kill people? Do they like to have a lot of discussions and intrigue? Do they like to solve mysteries? Whether they like to solve mysteries or not, put a mystery in there, because everybody does love a mystery. And it will give them something to solve and something to think about. And then give them something interesting to do, their characters something to do that has an immediate reward. So we get some wish fulfillment. Because the one thing you do in role playing games is the stuff you can't do in real life. Perhaps in real life, you're not the prettiest kid in the class. You can't leap tall buildings with a single bound. You can't pull off something and get rich. So give them the chance to do those things in play. And whether or not they actually make it or not, they had the chance. It feels good to have the chance, because real life doesn't afford us all the chances we want.